all over the internet. So do recommend it, especially if you're curious at, or if you're, if you enjoy ZVPs. We had the best Protosses and the best Zerg players facing off against each other in the Master Coliseum. The best ZVPs you could ask for. But now we're jumping into a ZvZ, as spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Cham Gladiators. It is SHIN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Mexican Zerg player, the Blue Zerg. It's great to see him here once again. It is El Chamaco. It is Cham, and if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Whew. As I do think the skill level of these two players is a little bit closer here than previously. Despite that, SHIN is the favorite player, but Cham, he's an animal, he's a beast. He can cause upsets here when it matters most, so I'm curious to see how Cham will approach the problem that is SHIN. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. Let's go. Again, for those who are curious, Cham, he was a very active player a couple of years ago. He used to compete in every single event he could get his hands on, and then that changed around 2023. Basically, it changed when the Latin American region was consolidated and was kind of merged into the Americas region for EPT. With that, there was significantly less money, less resources in the scene for Latin American competitors, and as a result, the Latin American scene did shrink quite heavily here, and players like Cham, for example, stopped competing as often as it wasn't, so as they weren't benefiting as much as they used to. Same with Special, for example. Special also basically retiring as well, which is a shame to see. But yeah, because of that, Cham has been less active. He's been less active for the past couple of years. He would only play like in WTL, for example, and like a handful of OSC events. Despite that, over the past couple of months, one, he's been active when it comes to the Bass's Big Brain Bouts, when it comes to the show matches, and specifically this month, the month of January, I want to say it was the 2v2 event of Euthermal that kind of maybe sparked that competitive nature within him. I still have to ask him, actually. Maybe I'll ask him after the series. But yeah, he kind of got interested once again. He got motivated to compete, to play, and Cham, he has been playing in these weekly cups, whether it's the Wardy events, whether it's the PiGosaur Monday events as well. It's great to see Cham active once again, even playing this weekend in OSC King of the Hill for the first time in a long time. So it's been great to see the return of Cham, and he's been doing quite well, been quite successful. For now, standard opener, Hatch Gas Pool into a third, Bailey Nest has been thrown down for Cham and SHIN. So far, mirrored builds. We go. We have mirrored builds for the time being. Additional lings on the way for SHIN. Is investing into additional lings. Lings are moving out. Behind this, I believe SHIN is going to be droning, but is going to be the first to apply pressure, is going to be the first to move out. Back at home, Cham, he's got his Bailings. Bailings are morphing in. They will be ready in time. And we'll see what she can get done. So now he checks, he confirms, he gets eyes on the army. SHIN, he backs the hell off. So in one way, though, SHIN did deal damage. He did force this reaction out of Cham, forced extra Bailings. SHIN backs off and he drones. Does back off, does drone up. Both players throwing down their Roach Warrens, both players taking. First Bailing gets baited out. Cham, he does commit. Bailings are ready here for SHIN. Bailings are ready. Cham going to be zoned away. Up. Snipes another Bailing, one Bailing left. Uh-oh. Yeah, one Bailing remaining. And it's going to be targeted down. Nice pick up, and SHIN, he just shuts down this army, picks it apart, and SHIN does hold. Forces Cham back. Behind this, SHIN, he is making roaches. He's going for his own counterattack. And how the pendulum swings from one player to the other. Cham now in trouble. Cham, did he overdrone? Uh-oh. Cham's in droning. Doesn't connect. One Bailing to defend. Bailing is barely going to survive. SHIN going for the queen. Oof. Does go for it. Queen survives just barely. Roaches are amassing for Cham. Cham, can he hold on? Oh, as the mineral line is exposed. Cham targets down the Bailings. Lings, they flood in, they get one. Oh, just the one so far. One drone falls. Cham still with a healthy drone count. Likewise, Shin has been droning up behind this. And now we enter the Roach v Roach phase of the game. What I'm most impressed by here is that so far, both players have been keeping up with each other. Cham and Shin, they have been keeping up. They've been trading some Ling Bane, that is true, but economically, they are neck and neck. Now we see Cham going for his counterattack. Behind this, lair is on the way. I believe Shin is on Hatch Tech, which just now starting up his lair. Shin throwing down a Spine Crawler here at his third, not feeling too confident. Spine Crawler is on the way. Shin trying to keep up. Cham, he does squeeze out extra drones. Behind all this, Cham has been droning up. This was really just posturing. He was puffing up his chest. And does force Shin to cancel the Spine Crawler. Did force an overreaction. Cham does get ahead in workers, and Shin is catching up. Shin is playing catch up, droning up as we speak. So slightly better saturation for Cham, just slightly. Shin, he's not too far behind. Both players building up their roaches. What I will say though, which is a big difference, upgrades. Cham did not get an Evo Chamber, so we have +1 range on the way for Shin. Shin, he will have superior roaches. Meanwhile, Cham with a faster lair into a faster spire. Bold move. That's why there's no upgrades. So Cham intentionally, he's gonna have weaker roaches in favor of mutas. Risky move here for Cham. We'll see if he can get away with it. We'll see if he can get away with it. As Shin, he's just building up more roaches, massing up an army, cutting workers here at 56. Shin, he's going for an all-in. He's going for it all in at this point. You can see here, Shin, he has not droned up his natural. He is transferring over to make it look like he has, but he hasn't. So it's going to be one big all-in, and Cham is vulnerable. Cham, 100%, he is vulnerable here, not just because of his drones, but because, of course, of the lack of upgrades and the Spire. Now, Shin, he hasn't scouted. He doesn't know what's going on, but things are going to be working out well here for Shin. As Cham, he has over 10 drones, because Cham did fully saturate on 3 bases, which means he just has a smaller roach army and a weaker roach army as well. And here comes Shin. Gonna knock down those rocks and send it across the map. Muta production has begun. Mutas, they can chip away at the army, but it takes a long time for mutas to kill roaches. It takes a very long time. And this may just be game here and now, as the all-in has arrived. And Cham, is he ready for it? He's down 20 roaches. He's down 20 roaches. Oh my god. And Shin, he just steps in. He overwhelms. He has just far too many roaches. Mutas have arrived, but it might just be too late. As Cham, his army's just going to crumble. He gets fully surrounded. Shin making his way into the mineral lines. Again, Cham drones. And sometimes in ZvZ, if you drone, you just die. Like, what else can you do in a mirror matchup? Aye. As Shin, he does catch reinforcements, takes down the 4th base, and you just keep going. Started stepping in towards the natural, in towards the main. Drone counts are even, but there's still just too many roaches. There's just so many roaches here at the 3rd, pushing into the natural, in the main as well. Wreaking havoc, the muta count is building up. Cham still has a comparable economy, but he's losing bases. He lost the 4th, he lost the 3rd. Losing everything. Cham, he does survive, and now he's going for a counterattack, but Shin, now he has his own Spire. He has his own Spire. Spores have been thrown down as well. Oh, the stuff. What am I looking at? Jesus. Cham, calm down. The stutter stepping. The mutas, they're freaking out. Oh my god. Calm down, Cham. Calm down. He was just spam stutter stepping. He's microing his heart out. Rebuilding his 3rd. Cham down in workers, even on upgrades. +2 is on the way. Catching out mutas. Cham, he's still in this. Let's go. Took a lot of losses, don't get me wrong. He's long distance mining, like he has a worse economy. This is all true. But for now, he does have map control. Corruptors are building up for Shin. as corruptors do zone away. YouTube and Twitch descriptions say invite invalid. Oh, that's not good. Does this still work? If not, we'll try to get on that. Try to fix them up. If they have expired. We want corruptors, they dive forward. Likewise, Cham committing across the map. That's invalid? Uh-oh. Okay, okay. As Cham commits, corruptors out of position. Muta's getting a lot of damage. Roach is trying to break through. Cham, does he have enough? I mean, he is all in at this point. He is committed. Boys are being pulled. Shin is barely holding on. Over the Miles. Miles is turned away. The mutas are cleaned up. Shin, he has control of the air, control of the sky. Cham, he tries to commit. Alas, back at home, bases are going to be going down. There's not enough anti-air. The corruptors, they kill the third. The third base goes down. Going for the natural as well. He's trying to. Catching up some overlords. The overlords are just falling for free. Cham, he commits. But Shin, he has too much. He has survived. Cham, he was able to hold his own, but GG gets called, and Shin, he survives the all-in, shuts down the mutas, and takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played again. It was impressive to see Cham keep up with Shin for most of that game, but as we pointed out, Shin, he went for a big 3-base all-in. He just committed to a 3-base all-in. He cut workers at under 3-base saturation. Sorry, really wasn't a 3-base all-in, it was like 2.5-base all-in. He got workers early on. Cham, he was taking into mutas, he was being risky, not just taking into mutas, he had also fully saturated his third, so he was being greedy as well. In the end, he was caught out. Shin did do crippling damage. Cham did have a moment there where he could try to counterattack where he had a comparable army size, but as we saw, he could not break the defensive position of Shin, and the longer the game went on, the better it was for Shin. GG. GG, well played. Shin does take the first game, and now we're getting to game number 2. We're going to be loading into Ultra Love. Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Gaiman Gladiators, leading the series 1-0. It is Shin. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Zerg player, representing from Valena, Mexico, down in the series. It is Cham. We go. But yeah, I do know that recently we have been messing around with our Discord invite links and making new ones and getting rid of old ones as well. So I do apologize if some of them are not working. Now then, opening up hatch gas pool. We're settling in. So far, nothing too crazy. We are loading into another smaller map here in the map pool, Ultra Love, and short rush distance by ground. This does have more defensive features compared to Whispers of Gold, that is true. Much more defendable third base, much more defendable fourth base as well. As a result, we could end up embracing a more back and forth mid-game of Roach v Roach. Considering that Cham did rush into mutas last game, though, we could see that once again. We could see either Cham or even Shin try to rush into mutas to catch their opponent off guard. That is definitely a possibility coming into this ZvZ. Is a possibility. Although we are going to be settling in. So far, so good. Just hatch gas pull. No crazy like 13-12. No pull first. Third base now on the way for Cham. I say nothing crazy. SHIN, he never researched link speed, which means he's playing 2-base. He's playing 2-base. I should have emphasized this as well. I mean, again, I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've casted ZvZ, so I do apologize for not pointing this out. Welcome to Ultra Love, where you have a ramp coming into the natural. What does this mean? This means it is much more viable to open up 2-base. To open up 2-base, and that's what we're doing here. We're skipping link speed, rushing into a lair, walling up here at the natural. Now, this could be 2-base Roach. This could also be 2-base Muta. It could be a 2-base all-in. It could just be 2-base Roach into a later third to skip link Bane. There are options here for SHIN, and the pressure is now on Cham to figure out what exactly is going on. Plus on range. Oh, Cham responding very well to this. Eva Chamber into plus on range. Cham, he skips the Bailey Nest, which is the correct thing to do. And Cham, I believe he also, yep, skips link speed. So when you see a player playing 2-base like this, the chances of them skipping and just avoiding link speed entirely and also skipping Banelings is very high. It's very high. So ideally, as a response, you want to do the same. You want to be able to, because gas is so limited early on, you want to be as efficient as possible. So we have a slightly later layer here from Cham, but earlier +1 range. So with this, if we get into Roach v Roach, Cham will have the better Roaches. On the flip side though, what do we see? SHIN is going 2-base Muta. Let's go. The Spire has been thrown down, and Cham has yet to confirm what's going on. He knows it's 2-base, but as we mentioned, could be 2-base Roach, could be 2-base Muta, could be anything. Cham does not know. As Cham is still droning, Cham does have the better economy. Getting up to full 2-base saturation. Doesn't want to drone up too much, though. Doesn't want to be caught by an all-in. Overlord is going to be focused down. Does focus on the Overlord. And here come the first Mutas. Mutas are on the way, and Cham still has no idea. Cham is building up some Roaches. We have Queens on the way. As Cham, it looks like he does scout, does recognize what's going on. Did see the Spire, but doesn't matter. So far, Roaches are in position. So far, Cham is able to keep up. He has drawn up quite heavily, actually. Up to 55 drones. That's a lot of drones. Mutas have arrived, and Spores are being thrown down. Spores are on the way. Cham trying to set up defensively. Cham is going to be stuck at home. SHIN has gained map control. Going for the Spore. Oh, does target it down. Nice pickup. One Spore does fall. And the Mutas might be able to overwhelm. Clutch Transfuse. Does get the Transfuse off. Does survive. So far, Cham minimizing losses. Wait, what? How many drones? Oh. I was like, what happened to the drones of Cham Spores? They morphed into Spore Crawlers, into Hydrodens. He has been taking up. Has been eating to his drone count. Has been eating in. They hit the natural once again, rotating between. The Queen count getting high, does get another Queen. But so far, no major economic damage. Cham, he has been able to hold on. Hive is on the way. Into Viper production. Into Hydrolurker Viper. Cham responding really well, actually. Responding very well. Throwing down gas geysers. Taking up. And again, no major losses to these Mutas. Behind this, SHIN is committing into more Muta production, +1 air attack, Bailey Nest as well, so it's going to be a Link Bane Muta out of SHIN, going for a Ninja base, or a more hidden fourth, I should say. He has map control, it makes sense. And right now, it's all about, can Cham survive? Can he minimize losses and get into Hydrolurker Viper production? He's not there yet. Ooh, as Cham gets supply blocked. Baneling's gonna be waddling in. Roaches are in position. Despite that, up! Does dive into the mineral line with the drones. They do survive. They do pull away. Queens, they hold their own. Cham, he is holding. Lurker production has begun. Vipers are on the way. Meanwhile, Spore does go down. Lurker as well. Very nice catch. Very nice pickups. Oof. As mutas are falling. Lurkers have arrived. Cham just needs a little bit more lurkers here to secure his bases, then he can just focus on Hydra production. As that is a lot of banelings. A lot of banelings are on the way. Mutas a breakthrough to the queens and the Spore. Where's the anti-air? Not enough queens. Vipers are gathering energy as we speak. To need those power bombs. Another queen goes down. Going for the Roach Warren. Roach Warren falls as well. Going for +2. Here come the power bombs. They do collapse in. Nice spread here for Algod. Bit of a later spread from Shin. A couple of mutas go down. But Chammy's holding. Is holding. Does reposition. Bailey's they roll in. Oh, they take down the expansion. Ooh, 11 drones. Oh no, they stacked up. He came back too soon. 11 drones and the expansion, and Cham is being torn apart. He barely wasn't able to get here. It was close. Initially, he was holding, he was surviving, but just too many losses too quickly. Pulled out of position. And Shin, from here, he can just max out. He can look to max out on Lingbane Muta. And just never allow Cham to break out himself. Takes down the Eva Chamber. Delays +3. Banelings rolling in. Trading with the army. Oh. So again, some nice power bombs. Nice splits throughout a Shin. And from here, Shin now has his own hive on the way. And this should lead into Ultras. It should be Lingbane Muta into Ultra. That'll be the way for Shin to break these siege lines of lurkers. Shin rotating over. Going for another massive Baneling run by. I'm assuming that most of these things are about to morph into Banelings. There we go. 22 Banelings on the way. As there we go, he does commit once again, going for the expansion, going for the mineral light. Oh no! Oof. And doesn't lose too many, so far only 2. Not bad, 2 drones going down. Very nice defense here by Cham. Impressive. Saves his workers. But he's still got only 45 drones. Aye, aye, aye. And we spoke about the Ultras. Here they come. 4 Ultras in production. Adrenal +3, kind of splating. Once the Ultras arrive, then Shin can commit. Oh no, the Vipers! Oh, gets 1. One Viper goes down. Shinny pulls away. But he's done with mutas. At this point, he's done with the mutas. It's all about the Ultras. Only +2 carapace though, so the upgrades are a little bit lackluster. A little bit. Again, especially these carapace upgrades is so important when it comes to these Ultras trying to break the siege line of the lurkers. There's going to be a lot of lurkers to defend. as we are having 17 so far, building on more lurkers. For those that are curious, the reason why we need more lurkers here is that a handful of Vipers are enough to deal with these mutas. Mutas, they can't really engage with 1 or 2 power bombs going off. And of course, it's mainly going to be a ground-based army now for SHIN, no longer about the air. I know, as base they roll in, massive connections, no response, no reaction. 13 drones going down. We even get a link drop into the main, going for the hive. Oh my god, the hive is iced so quickly. Hive goes down, massive pickup. That means no more Vipers. And SHIN is just pulling Cham apart. And here come those ultras, blinding cloud on the lurkers, forcing them back. Detection has arrived. Jesus, again, the lightning clouds, they just continue. The overseers are about to go down, but despite that, the ultras, they still just wreak havoc. Yeah, they bust through into the natural. Detection is dealt with, though. No more detection. Cham defends, he holds. Does hold on. Despite that, Lings, they still catch drones. Ultra still catch reinforcements. Again, Cham is barely holding on. There's detection. That detection has arrived. More ultras go down. The 4th base, it's gonna fall. And these are just losses that Cham can't afford. And SHIN can. Can't afford them. Good trade. As Cham is down to his last legs, down to 40 workers, barely a standing army, 16 drones go down. And again, this is the power of playing Muta here. Is SHIN with just full map control, full saturation. He has 91 drones. And just remaxing on Ultra time and time again. Just rallying across the map. Cham, and now here comes a counterattack, but again, there's barely an army. Overseer goes down, but Ultras don't care. They don't care. Nah, no. Oh, they care a little bit. And there it is. GG gets called. SHIN breaks through, and SHIN will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. Again, Cham, he was able to hold his own for a time, but eventually the Baneling Runways overcame him. If you recall, they got into a mineral line, they killed over 11 workers, they killed the expansion as well. Eventually, SHIN found that economic damage he was looking for. Once he dealt it, he never fell behind. Never fell behind. He was able to just remax time and time again, and he made sure that Cham could never break out. Ideally, Cham wanted to defend, fortify himself, and max out himself, and then counterattack. But he never got to that point because of the damage he was sustaining, because of the Baneling run-bys, and because of the Muta dives as well. SHIN did a great job of just making sure that Cham never stabilized. He never stabilized, never built up. GG. GG, well played. With that, do we have a next series? Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves, as I believe we have updates. We have a lot to catch up on. Here we go from the top.